Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rowan, the Lyranwitch. I'm back with another collective message today. We're going to be hopping in and just seeing what generally the guides want to tell us that's going on in the collective, because there's been these huge movements of energy in the last 4 or 5 days that have to do with rainbow energy or with the different frequencies of light and color. So I'm very excited to see what's going on with that. Before we get started though, I would just love to extend so much gratitude to you guys. There's so many of you here now, and I'm so grateful and kind of awestruck with how many people have been engaging with my videos, relating to what I'm sharing here, and, you know, forming community, and I really appreciate that. I know how valuable your time is, and I really appreciate you choosing to spend it with me. At the time I'm filming today, there are 444 of you guys, so I feel like it's a really special day, and I'm just really excited. It's really made me very proud that there's so many of us that are on this path right now, and that, you know, all of us are choosing to show up in the world the best that we can. We're on the healing path. So I love you guys. Just to let you all know before we get started, I am going to be giving away 2 free readings once I hit 1,000 subscribers. To be in the running for a free reading, all you have to do is be subscribed and leave me a comment on my video. So you can either choose to let me know what you think of it, or you can just let me know that you're interested. If you don't have anything else to say, that's totally fine too. And I will choose randomly 2 different people and get you your free reading once we hit 1,000. If you'd like to work with me in the meantime, however, you can always find me at lyranwitch.com. That's the only place you can book with me, never through the comments, because I do have imposters and scammers. And I'm available for many kinds of energy healing, spiritual coaching, readings, like personal readings, and animal communication readings that help with behaviors and soul mission and things like this. So yeah, you can check all of that out. And my shop as well. All right, now that we're into all that, let's see what is coming up, because what I was seeing the last few days were these different ribbons of colored light going into the crown. And this wasn't just for me, this was for like many people. They weren't connected, like it wasn't a rainbow type of energy here, but it was many different streams of color. And when I was tuning into that, it felt very good. It felt like downloads from the guides about different soul origin points or lessons that you might have experienced in the past. Yeah, different beginnings that you had in different lifetimes. Yeah, and with this Knight of Cups coming up in reverse, these frequencies of color are actually coming in to help unlock downloads about emotional blocks. That's what I'm feeling here. These streams and energy constructs coming through are also related to ancestral ties. And these are your aligned ancestors, not ancestors in need of healing. Those are more like relatives. I don't really consider those ancestors. Yeah, we have a lot of different energies coming in here. With the 3 of Cups, there's a lot of different reunions. That's the word they want me to use here. This 3 of Cups is a reunion of different guides that you've interacted with in multiple lifetimes. Coming back to almost all these cups, they're like, cheers, we're heading into a new realm together. We're going to explore some different aspects of the lessons that you've learned. So some of these things that you're going to be reviewing are going to be from this lifetime and feel familiar. So this could be reviewing long-standing lessons you've been going through with friends, loved ones, relatives. This can also be past life stuff coming up, and you're like, what is this? Like, I'm remembering past lives, or I'm having dreams about other times or other realms or other dimensions or places. You know, those are all this reunion energy. To clear up with this Knight of Cups here, any blockages of the heart space, I'm sorry to hit the microphone, guys, and any blockages of the throat and your speech and your mouth and your ability to emote from that place as well. Now, the reason this is really important is because, as we were talking about in the last reading that I did, we're tying up loose ends right now. Literally, all of these different streams were coming into the crown as these different ribbons. It's like you have all these different things to tie up, and these little ribbons of downloaded energy and downloaded frequencies and emotions and colors are coming in to help patch up any parts of your spirit that have felt like ragged, that have felt torn up by the people you've been dealing with or have dealt with in the past. And they're really just trying to help you get out of this reverse Six of Wands energy. And this Six of Wands came up in the last reading too. This is about moving to your home place. And some of you have never lived in your home place. I will say this. We were talking about this before. I wasn't even using this deck before, so it's really funny. The same cards came out. A lot of us have been going through this period of time, for this entire lifetime for a lot of you, where you've had to be fighting and fighting and fighting to establish yourself, to remove blockages that kept you stuck with people saying you were something you weren't, with forces that might have been trying to energy harvest you or convince you to be a lower, I don't even know how to say this, almost like a lower frequency than you're at home at. There were a lot of demons you were fighting in this lifetime, basically. And I mean that literally and figuratively for a lot of you. And you're like ending the battle now, but you haven't returned to the place that you were fighting for. Some of you have never lived in a place you were fighting for. It's like you were born over enemy lines, but you were fighting for the other team. And now you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, we got to patch up all this ragged ass energy that's happened, all of these wounds that you've sustained in these battles, so that you can go home and, get the downloads from your guides to go to your physical home that you do have on this earth, but might not have ever lived at. Some of you have lived there and have been trying to get back, or were blocked from being at a place that you know you're supposed to be. You might have had dreams about this place since you were a kid. You might just know that there's people you're meant to meet that you haven't met yet. For some of you, like, it's not a physical place. Like, your home are these soulmate energies. Be they coworkers that you're meant to meet and meant to work with and change the world. Divine partnerships that are romantic, beautiful friendships, chosen family, or even family members you haven't met yet or haven't gotten to connect with yet for whatever reason that are genetically related to you. Okay, whatever it is for you, this is the energy that we're in right now. This is what we're moving towards. It's like, how do we heal enough to be able to form new commitments in a real way? A lot of us have had our hearts trampled, and are just like, I want to be done with this. Like, the world isn't ending to a huge cycle. It's putting to rest all of this confusion energy that was put on you before, from all the people who are like, are you sure you can do that? Are you sure you're good enough? I don't think your dream means anything. Like, all that kind of throwing a wrench in the gears energy is being cleared out right now. All of this energy, wow, 5 of Cups in reverse, of like having to linger on the past and linger on the things that didn't work, that's being cleared out. That's why this is coming up in reverse here. All that stuff is done. And these streams of energy coming in from your ancestors, from these ascended masters that you connected with in other lifetimes. For some of you, it's the Hathors, because they're drawing my attention to this bull right here. And for some of you, it's like lion energies, Lyran energies, if you have that cosmic connection. Syrians, the water, and the fish over here, the lobster. There's a lot of different things coming up. Some of you are connected to the serpentine energies of the dragons as well, because we have dragons and snakes on this card. Even like ascended masters from other time periods on Earth, like ancient Egypt, ancient India, Babylonian energies for some of you. Some of you like Aztec or Toltec type of energies, like South American. We have Native American energies here. We have a lot of like very ancient stuff that's on Earth too. And these might have been lifetimes where you met these beings that you were going to establish new paradigms with, but it wasn't time yet. It's like you had to create this energetic bridge between you, but you had separate goals. These people or these energies might have incarnated physically many, many times, and you had separate things to do, and it's like, okay, we're going to reconvene soon. And you have to be a very powerful soul for you to have divine counterparts that you are this bridged with and this connected with. Like these energies that you would love to spend all of your time with, and agree to have multiple lifetimes where you weren't pursuing the same things because you knew the value of how long this was going to take and like this end game, right? Yeah, you look, literally the Hermit. Some of you, this was part of the agreement. And it doesn't feel good. No, of course not. Like, you're always going to be wanting to be around this other person because you're connected with them. I'm not reading the devil in a bad way in this card. This is more of like the chains connecting them. Like, for some of you, you just have these very deep soul ties. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, computer, come on. Sorry, guys, my laptop was dying. Anyway, you know, some of you just have these really close soul ties, and you had to be solitary for a while. Possibly even crossing paths in each lifetime and having to, for some reason, diverge again. It was not only part of the bigger plan, but for some of you, it was a deeper meaning as well. Like a deeper agreement. Even though there are forces that are trying to keep a lot of us separate, I do want to say, like, I'm getting the message distinctly here that some of you had to do this in a way. Like, this was part of your growth, because you two were so enmeshed and so good together. And it's like you wouldn't have achieved the same kind of energetic sovereignty if you had been together. That's not to say that these things were made easy by having these departures over and over again. It seems incredibly traumatic. But there is this sense from a higher perspective of time being so insignificant in the... I just realized it's at the bottom of the deck when I looked at the screen. You know, time is so insignificant in the higher realms. And it's like, with this Knight of Pentacles energy, like, we need to put in the work towards the type of independent energy, the type of strength, like deep-seated emotional and spiritual strength that will be needed to do the work to eventually get where we're going in creating new paradigms on this planet and fracturing this matrix out of existence. Because that's what's slowly happening here. This is not something that can be done in this lifetime. You know, there isn't going to be a rapture or anything like that. Like, I've never been told that by spirit in my whole life. This is an energy of, you're a shit disturber in a good way on this planet. You are here to break down things that are hateful, that are bigoted, that are low vibrational and nasty and out to harm other people for no reason. You are here to disturb that. And that's why there have been so many forces that have come against you in this lifetime and others. That's why it's so important to tie up these loose ends, to let these energies from these other time periods that you've connected with start to filter back into you on the spiritual realm and like cooperate in your energy or be around you, give you extra protection, extra downloads. You know, accept the help is basically what I'm getting here, because a lot of you have become almost too independent, they're saying. They just threw that. Yeah, and for some of you, like, you've become so independent that it's almost like you're used to being your own guide. Some of you feel very used to being your own spirit guide in a way. And there's been like all these tower moments, and you've just been trying to move towards this 10 of Cups, this peaceful home life. But, you know, they're trying to get these messages to you. Some of you have gotten really confused on what messages are from your guides, which ones are from your inner being, which is pretty much the same thing, and which ones are from interference, because sometimes I'm being told that these guides will come in and warn you about something that's negative that could happen or will be happening if you don't do something else. And it feels negative to you, so you mistake it for interference. And they're like, it's not interference, we're trying to prevent this so you don't have to keep going through towers. The thing about towers is they only happen and are only necessary if there's a level of resistance and stubbornness. If there's not resistance and stubbornness, you can literally dismantle the tower in your own timing. Whenever you are resistant to whatever it is, or you're not willing to make a change and not lean into that change, that's whenever it gets blasted down. And Spirit's like, well, we don't have time for you to think about this. Like, it's just going to happen that way. That's when you're coming up against resistance that you didn't know was coming. And the thing is, like, see all these sticks here, okay? All these sticks are, like, coming up against this woman. But whenever your guides are trying to... These sticks here are, like, your guides sending in these ribbons of this energy. They're sending in all these downloads to your crown that's like, hey, we're trying to give you a warning. If you don't heed the warning, it's going to come out as these other forces coming against you. It's like they're trying to let you know about that. Yeah, they're trying to help you become the Queen of Wands. You know? And the Queen of Wands never ends up in this position anymore because she's very tapped in to this 8 here. She's tapped into all the messages from the other side. Every one of them. She gets messages from all the elements. She's always one eye and one ear open. And not in a fearful way, but in an aware way. Like where observing is a part of her daily routine. This is being able to always be like part of Spirit. Where even if you're not having a daily meditation practice per se, you're mindful every day. It's just a part of your routine to know that whatever happens could be a message. To always have that space open, like, I know my guides are around me, so what are they saying to me? Some of you are putting too much of an emphasis on sitting down and doing the act of meditation versus actually making space in your daily routines to just exist and allow Spirit to exist with you. And you will naturally get the downloads that way. That is the energy of the veil being lifted. And that is a part of the matrix not being as much of a part of your daily life. You know, living kind of interdimensionally, if you want to think of it that way, is just being tapped in all the time. And there not really being too much of a space between when you're grounded and when you're listening, because you're always listening and you're always grounded. It's more of a balanced energy. I hope that makes sense the way I explained it. There's so many wands here, guys. There's so much about your passions and your emotional energies like sweeping you away at times and making you feel really stuck. But these wands have to do with communication and conflict here. These are like wands out of balance. And Spirit really trying to balance them for you. These are also fire energies. They're very volatile. It's like there's this energy around the collective right now of if I take notice, something could explode. And that's not you. That's an illusion right now. That's a part of the Gemini energy that's coming up, because sometimes with like these big astrological movements through air, it can feel like any conflict that comes up could just flash fire and break everything, like explode everything, because there's so much more movement and so much, with the sun, almost like explosive energy can come up at times. But at the same time, it's also like the sun reveals all. You're going to see it regardless. So please, if you are getting like lots of messages and it's starting to freak you out, or it's about something that you've been avoiding with this tower here, do lean into it, because you're going to be getting these downloads kind of whether you like them or not. It's just how easy do you want to make this for yourself? That's what the guides are saying here, which is a bit of a tough message, but all these freaking wands, they're like, we don't want to hit you over the head with this. Just be mindful. It's okay. And if you're getting like really worked up about not being where you want to be, or not being with who you want to be with, because those are the two big conflicts in the air right now. Try to settle yourself. It's okay to be with the pain. Don't avoid the pain. But try to find ways to do deep breathing exercises. If that doesn't feel accessible to you, even just try, like, I was just telling a client this recently, try walking meditation, which is basically just mindfulness. It's not even meditation. It doesn't have to be. I'm such a big fan of mindful walking because it's so much more free-flowing. It keeps you grounded. If you have some kind of trauma on your mind or some kind of heaviness on your mind, it'll always help you feel better to just do some kind of movement. It doesn't have to be walking. If walking isn't accessible for you, even just stretching can be nice. But if you are able to be outside in some way, it's really going to help you because you're going to get movements from the trees. You're going to see shapes in the leaves that remind you of something else. You know, there's so many avenues that spirit can open up to you because the light codes are available in nature. There's so many ways that you'll be able to be more made aware of where you are on the Wheel of Fortune right now. The Wheel of Fortune is the energy of your life path, where you're going, what's next. Karmic lessons sometimes. It can be lots of things, but this is essentially your roadmap. And when you're feeling like you don't know where the hell the chariot is going, that's when you want to try to be in nature in some way. And if you're in a city, that's totally okay because there's still clouds. There's still stars. You know, even if you live somewhere without clouds, like Phoenix or something, you know, you're going to see birds. You're going to see grass. You're going to see something where you go. You're just going to have to open your eyes to where you are. And if it's not where you want to be, that's part of it. Part of it is leaning into, here's what I have, and I'm going to learn to accept what this has to teach me. Because wherever you are right now, even if you're in some little hell sector of Earth that you know you're there to transmute that does not agree with your spirit, it's because you're tying up these last moments. And you're learning the emotional lesson and clearing up the emotions of trauma that are here right now with you. They won't be with you forever, so you're going to have to lean into whatever nature is around you in order to help that, because spirit will put you in these little hell sectors so that you can learn to appreciate absolutely everything, because then you're going to appreciate it so much more when you get to the amazing place that you want to be. Okay, so if you're in a place where all you have are clouds, and you're like, I don't even connect with cloud energy, you better start. This is like a real hard-ass energy that's coming through right now of your guides being like, you can't try to make this something it's not right now. That's what's going on. Like, it is what it is. We need to get you here. We need to get you connected back with the guides. And we're giving you a very specific avenue to do this. We want you to find gnosis in this avenue that we are providing to you. Even if it's not, you know, the sky or something. It can be rocks on the street. It can be anything. My God, these cards are for you guys. I'm not reading cards. I'm speaking energy. The cards are absolutely so you can see what's going on. I was told to start these a few years ago, but I've been channeling since I was a child. And the thing is, like, when you're tapped into spirit, you can read cigarette butts on the ground. You can read the movement of birds in the air. You can read shapes in the grass. You can read numbers on cars. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can receive information through absolutely anything. It's just, how much resistance are you holding towards how you're receiving the energy? This is not something you need to explain to others. Even if it seems completely bizarre to you and something that you're not enjoying necessarily, try it. This is really the energy of be willing to try, because something different is going to happen for you. You're going to get out of this very, very stuck energy once you lean into what you have. You won't be here forever, and the sooner that you lean in, the sooner you can leave. But there really are all these different guides trying to speak to you through what you have, and there's so much resistance around what you have that they're like, you're not receiving from us. Some of them are trying to even help you with matters of abundance, matters of money. And there's like, they might be giving you opportunities for something to make money that you were like judging or you don't like. And they're like, it isn't going to be forever. It might be like a little job that you didn't think you would want to work or you couldn't work or something, but it would actually be very beneficial for you. Yeah, look, it's helping to transmute and burn off all this old energy from before for a lot of you with whatever this new opportunity is. Whether it is related to money, which it is for a lot of you, or it's just an opportunity to receive something, even just emotionally or informationally from a different source than you would normally go to. I also have the death or dying card here, so it's helping to end this old phase for you. Oh my god, how many death or dying cards are we gonna have here? Like, they're trying to get rid of these parts for you, okay? They're trying to help end that. Okay, so the next thing here is I actually had a vision about a hand with many, many, many fingers just this morning. And this hand had like well over 20 fingers on it. And I saw it and I was like, that is so weird. What is that? And it pulled into a fist. And I thought about this for a while because it reminded me of like Hindu deity, how they have many arms to represent their higher dimensional states above like physical humans, right? And, you know, the hands are where the healing comes from. The fingers each have different tiny little chakra in them. And when this is all activated, you have the ability to heal yourself. You're basically a walking light portal that the divine can work through to assist others, to assist the planet and the animals and everything else. And when I saw this hand, I was asking what it meant, and they showed me that, but they also said, this is many, many, many people all coming together to form one very strong force. And that's what we're moving towards right now. That's why this work has to be done. Because as I was saying before in the last reading, like these people that you are meant to meet, that you're meant to form commitments with, whether romantic or otherwise. Wow. And then building. These people you're meant to form commitments with need you to be in a whole form. They need you to be whole so that you can all come together and do what you're meant to do, because there is a lot of resistance in this universe right now and in this world right now. And if you're not strong already in yourself, you're not going to be a strong force in the fist, right? So there really is this this feeling of needing to go within. Whether that's meditation, whether that's just mindful walking, just find gnosis in whatever way you find gnosis in your life. And allow these inner fires to like burn off what isn't working for you anymore and all the resistance that you're having. Hi guys, I'm sorry about that. So I actually got interrupted and I'm continuing the next day. So I wish I could put in a SpongeBob cutscene of 24 hours later. But basically, I'm going to pass over these cards because we had already talked about them, and to be honest with you, I don't remember where I was. So I try not to interrupt these readings, but it's probably for the best that it happened that way. So we will continue with the next part of what I was going to talk about yesterday. I'm going to go back just real quickly as well to talk about those ribbons of colored light that were coming in about the ancestors, because I did get further clarification whenever I tuned in with the guides a little bit later. They were referring to them as an interstellar magnetic field or a cosmic roadmap whenever I was interacting with them. And they said that each ribbon that was coming into the crown corresponds with a lifetime and or lesson that you had before, which we talked about. Each color means something different. So tune in and see which color speaks to you in the moment. The guide said that each ribbon of color or of light energy coming in the crown is a film strip of your Akashic records. So this is actually something that I've taught people how to do in one-on-one sessions and in coaching. And it is a way that I sometimes help people get into their own Akashic records whenever doing guided healings and regressions. And that is being able to tune into these energies that are coming through as a film strip and playing the film, like putting it on the reel and actually beginning to watch the film of your past life, of your past deaths, and see, what is actually coming through with that, with judgment. Seeing what karmic lessons want to be reviewed, because if you're seeing something coming up in your Akashic records, it's because something's either ready to be released, you're strong enough to deal with what it was, or it's like relevant to your life now and ready to be reviewed. Often these are emotional lessons that we are kind of like too busy to deal with in our day-to-day life. But with this Page of Cups here, this is the energy of really beginning to step into that, to go a little bit deeper and, basically unstuck yourself. Look, it's literally a film strip wrapping around this person. And there's like this strip of colored light all around this Page of Cups. It's going to require you really being willing to sample into a bunch of different types of energies and different types of emotions that you might often lean away from in your daily life in order to pass through these lessons effectively and quickly. But there really is this energy of, this says being chased. Being chased in a dream is a powerful indication that you're trying to avoid something or someone in your waking life. By avoiding these different energies that you haven't maybe sampled into in multiple ways in your current life, it keeps you kind of bound to these past life experiences that you've had, even though they are trying to channel in as more of a direct message here to reveal the things that make you feel vulnerable. That vulnerability is a gift. Vulnerability is actually something that helps us to connect with other people and connect with the commitments that we're meant to make in this kind of new earth energy that we're establishing in the matrix. Vulnerability is required. It's not a suggestion. The guides are like, can do this the easy way or the hard way. Like, we could chase your ass into learning these lessons, or you can build from the ground up and we'll guide you on how to do this stuff. Literally, wow, with the demon card and then the disaster card. This is tower energy here. And like I said, towers can be avoided. So these Akashic Records past life energies that are streaming into the crown at this time as these colored strips of light are there to assist us in our ascension. Okay? Yeah, they're here to assist us in learning to fly and learning to connect with other people and learning to connect with the animals and the parts of nature that we don't necessarily feel super called to, which, if you haven't checked out my last message from Kernunos, definitely do, because I talk about shadow work and how essential that is for moving into these new energies. Okay, another thing that came up in the interim between the times I'm filming this I actually had a song stuck in my head yesterday after I filmed the first part, and it was the song Immigration Man by, was that Graham Nash? Or is that Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young? Fun fact, that was my first concert, and it was awesome. But anyway, the song is written by Graham Nash, regardless. And I had it stuck in my head, and I was like, what is this? And Spirit's like, look up the lyrics. We're trying to tell you something. So when I looked it up, the part that was standing out to me was, I won't toe the line today. I can't see it anyway. And what he's referring to in the song is, toe the line is an idiomatic expression that means to conform to a rule or standard. It's like forming in a line. It's your toes, not towing something. So it's your toes at a starting line. That's what that's referring to. So towing the line is like lining up, getting in place, doing what other people tell you. And the song is saying, like, I'm not going to stand in line. I don't even know where the line is anymore. I don't care where the line is. It's not important anymore. And that's the energy that we're moving into at this time, is really not looking at the pace that other people are going, giving a lot less credence to the idea that we need to meet some standards that other people are putting on us, and that our healing journey needs to look a very specific way. You don't have to be on a specific diet, living a specific lifestyle, waking up at 5 a.m. and having 6 green smoothies, whatever people are even saying to do anymore. All of that stuff is very secondary to the action and the practice of just being mindful and getting connected to yourself, your inner being, your body, what it's trying to tell you, and spirit, which is your guides and ancestors, which are all part of you, and your connection to nature and the divine, right? The gods. All of that is the practice. The green smoothies and the detoxes and all the other stuff, there might be a place for that in your life, depending on who you are. But it's not like a lifestyle that is always conducive to forward movement. A lot of times we get stuck in detoxes. I know I did. And it can become very unhealthy. It can become like orthorexic, and you have to rebuild too. So whether you're in the detox or the rebuild, or, just maintaining, whatever you're at, it doesn't matter. It's about finding your pace and paying attention to your pace, not what some external force is trying to tell you to do. Let's see, is there anything else, Spirit, or have I covered everything? Okay, they're saying yes. So we have covered everything. I'm going to get one last message here. I was actually going to pull an angel card, but I think this is related. Get an angel card and an ancestor card. Again, I just want to say thank you guys so much, all of you new folks here. There's even been some new people that showed up since I started filming yesterday, and I appreciate you guys so much. I'm so looking forward to what the future holds here. Wow, re-energize yourself. What was I just saying? Finding your own pace and being able to figure out what you need to do in order to feel really confident and stable as you navigate these past life energies so that you can continue moving forward, right? Overcoming the energy of being stuck behind enemy lines, right? And really getting the insights to get back to your people, whoever your people are, whether or not you've ever met them. Hold on one second, guys. All right. We have Archangel Raguel. Overseer of angels, brings harmonious interactions, unbiased, assists with legal matters, and friend of God. So assists with legal matters is actually very relevant to the Akashic Records, because a lot of times whenever you're doing any kind of Akashic Records processing or healing or just inner work on yourself, you're going to find that it follows a very legal type of flow. There's going to be agreements and contracts that have to be undone and reviewed in a very methodical way, even in the spirit. And, that's why I offer the services I do, because this is something that everybody can do on their own, right? But if you want the extra assistance with it, or if there's blockages or entities that are in your Akashic Records that are giving you a hard time and you don't know how to navigate, that's what I'm here for. So that is a service that I offer. I call it soul fragment retrieval. So it's kind of like a shamanic journeying session that we both do at the same time. And it's a really beautiful practice, because a lot of people, once I do it with them, can begin to do it on their own as well. And it's kind of like a jumping off point. So I just wanted to bring attention to that, and to the idea that, you are in spiritual court when you're doing this stuff. Oftentimes your guides and ancestors will act as your lawyer and vouch for you on the other side. And it's not in the sense that there's necessarily like a judge type of energy. The divine will step in if needed, but often you are the judge of what you want to allow into your lifetimes. Are you done with this lesson? You're the judge. You know what I'm saying? And, you call in the divine to kind of agree to that as well. Because you are a part of the divine, ultimately. I mean, that's what all the Ascended Masters are teaching us. We're all different facets on this one diamond that is what I call the divine, right? That's why I interchange the use of God and gods, because I see it as many, many, many faces of an unconditional loving force in this universe. Okay, and we also have finding something valuable. Discovering something valuable, a hoard of antiquities, hidden treasure, or just modern banknotes suggests that in waking life, you might be on a course to learn something important about yourself or a situation or relationship. Finding something beautiful can have the same meaning, even if the value isn't apparent. Consider the object's symbolic associations. If it's jewelry, that could indicate what you're looking for, how to present yourself more confidently and attractively. If it's something historic, that could mean that you're learning from the past. So this is kind of like a card that's guiding you on what sort of things will begin to crop up as you're beginning to look into your past lives in your meditations. I actually recommend beginning this process without a guided meditation. I would try it with just putting on some music and meditating. That's what I recommend starting with, because sometimes we can get hooked on feeling like we need somebody else. And not all the time do we need somebody else. Again, I'm here if you do need it, but, everything that I share on this channel is something that we can all learn to do. That's why Spirit called me to begin working with the collective in this way. I still love my one-on-ones. I look forward to that, but ultimately, we're all meant to be doing this work, right? Some of us are just a little further on the path than others. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I really hope that this assists you moving forward. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think. Again, make sure you are subscribed and leave a comment if you'd like to be in the running for one of the 2 free readings I will be giving away at 1,000 subscribers. And thank you as well to my new patrons. You can try out my Patreon for 7 days for free. It's $10 a month. So I do share some additional stuff on there as well for you guys. And again, I'll never contact you in the comments for personal readings. I expect you to make the choice if you want to work with me and reach out through my website, okay? That's a way to protect you guys from scammers. So I'm sending you all lots of love and peace, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!